Hello, everybody. Good morning. I hope all of you are doing well and staying at home, staying safe. So, we are here with a second Ask Me Anything session. I have my team here with me, Varya and Vaibhav, who were there last time as well. So, I'm sure you have met them and know them. Um, the structure that we would follow in this particular AMA is that we will first have my team. They will talk to you about the different developments that are there in the program in terms of the technology, which Weber will talk about, and also in terms of the program structure. And then we'll come to a little bit of the vision that we have for the Mentor India program and how we want each ATL to have some, at least one mentor. And in the process, when we are talking about these different buckets, you can keep asking your questions, and whoever is talking, me, Varya, or Weber, will address your questions depending on what they are. Typically, so it's going to be a free flowing thing because it's an AMA. So we are always open to answering questions. That's what we are looking for. So please write your questions in the question section, or once anybody of us is done giving the overview, you can also raise your hand and enter the room and ask your questions on video. So I will first start with the portal and the technology bit of it. So I would hand it over to Weber, who leads the product development.
Yes, thanks, Himanshi, and a very good morning to everyone here on the call. Quick updates, and we thought it's a good idea to share with everyone who's there on the call and everyone in the mentoring ecosystem to know what's happening on the portal, and what more importantly, as a roadmap, what do we have for the portal as well as the mentors who are part of it. Between the last call which we had to up till now, we have been working mostly on upgrading the portal in terms of because the project currently is hosted on the NIC server, and we are currently undergoing an audit by the NIC team. So there have been a lot of inputs and insights coming back from the audit team, and we have been majorly working on upgrading the software of the InnoNet portal, and that has been the work which is going on in major. And more importantly, for our mentoring ecosystem, something which we took as a feedback from the last Ask Me session, where a lot of mentors as well as RMOCs spoke about a dedicated communication channel between the mentors and the respective RMOCs, and also about what is happening within the RMOC region, about in terms of different events which are happening, or the whatever support the other mentors need in terms of reaching out to their RMOCs, trying to talk to the schools and all that stuff. So that is something which we took as a major feedback from the last Ask Me session, and it was really good to get that insight. And now is something which we're working on. We call it internally as an RMOC dashboard, where the idea is we want to give more flexibility to the RMOCs, where they can essentially leverage the portal in terms of reaching out to their respective mentors, not just with information about the schools and the ATLs, but also about a lot of events which we expect to be happening within the region, whether these are mentor meetups or any group discussion in terms of project ideas for various events like the AIM Marathon and the others. So yeah, we are trying to create a dashboard which where RMOC essentially gets some level of admin access in communicating and managing the region particularly. And more importantly, also on the mentor side, where the mentors could essentially leverage the portal again to reach out to their respective RMOCs with any queries or the support which they might have with respect to the program in specific. And also in terms of knowing about what are the different events happening within the region, and not just with the respective RMOCs, but as an overall RMOC ecosystem, so that the information sharing becomes much more easier across the mentors and the RMOCs. That has been the objective with which we have started the development, and I hope by the next call or maybe the subsequent ones, we should be able to have that feature live for all of us, to leverage the same. So that has been something which we thought as a roadmap we should share with you. It's something which you can expect coming out pretty soon. While there are others as well, in terms of adding a project repository for mentors, so that it becomes easier to collaborate amongst the students, what kind of project ideas they are coming with, and also having a repository which mentors or the RMOCs can maintain for students to get inspiration from. So these are the two things which I believe should be coming up next in as a roadmap, and will be out there for mentors and RMOCs. Again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone to raise that particular insight, because it really helped us to streamline, and plan the next steps in the portal development and so. And that is something which was really interesting. So thank you everyone for sharing that insight and input. I think so. Yeah, that's more or less what's there from a portal perspective, what you should be expecting. Uh, yes, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Great. So I can look at some of the questions. One question is that in Tamil Nadu, we see a lot of internet problem connecting with students is a major issue for the past 1 quarter. How that can be solved in rural side? Mr. Shiv Kumar is asking this. I completely agree. We are fighting this issue, especially because of the pandemic, uh, and a lot of students don't have access to internet. It's difficult to connect with them, and really, if people are, I really don't have an answer. If children do not have any access to the internet, what we are trying to do would also require time, because there are two ways to reach the students. It's either physical or through the internet. Right now the physical part is not working, and if it's a rural area and you live close by, then it's still possible. But then again, since the pandemic's there, I would not advise doing that right now, given that India is at its peak. So and if what we can do is we can encourage the teachers and yourself to get children on calls, and we are designing one module on design thinking. We are trying to structure it in a way that even if you don't have internet or access to computer or ATL related technologies, you can do something at your home to because design thinking is something that's everywhere. You can do it without any. Shelly ma'am took a wonderful session on that, and that also taught us how we can do that. Without any technology as such. So, would encourage you and the teachers to do calls to students, because I'm sure that everybody has, phones. So maybe make groups of children who are interested in ATL before that, and put them in charge of making a further group of their batchmates and calling them and identifying what all issues are there around them, and what can be done at a very local level, hyper local level, within that short group. So the children need that kind of engagement and guidance, and we need to go a little further to do something like that. So that's what I would say. Connect with your ATL in charge and just identify those children who are extremely interested in innovation, and then further create groups of people who live together, because children know that. and try to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Just adding to that, I mean, last week, Dr. Shashadri also did a really nice session on doing remote mentoring and online mentoring, because I saw there was another question that asks, are there any guidelines to do online mentoring? And while there aren't any official guidelines, but that is a good best practice that mentors can adopt. All of these sessions, I think, within this week or so would be up on the Innonet portal as the knowledge hub. So you can then go back, even this session Himanshi mentioned about design thinking with Shelly ma'am. So all of that would be there. And I think that, like, a combination of them and adopting from their information shared by different MOCs and RMOCs would help in sort of mapping your own personal mentoring practice and schedule.
Yeah. One thing, if I may add here, is I have seen a lot of examples where people are, because at times, because the live sessions are not possible because of the internet issues or something. One way could be either recording them, posting on YouTube, and just giving them the access so that at any point of time they can do it. And second, I have seen a lot of people doing podcasts as well. So something which is pretty interesting, simple, and students can just listen at any point of time later on. Maybe they don't have the smartphones, but someone in the family, if they have a lot of applications on podcasts which are free, available, and students can leverage it. So in case someone would want to explore that.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. I see one or two questions specifically on the technical aspects of the portal. I'll just quickly ask them. So I think Vaibhav will be able to help with that. There's one says, also when I click on dashboard link, it takes me to homepage and mental login. I had raised tickets, but nothing. Um,
Ah, perfect. So that is something which we have taken a note, and I specifically remember. I don't know, Varya, who raised this question, but I remember reading a ticket from Mr. Paramveer Malik
yeah,
about.
it's similar.
Correct. So in that case, sir, please know that we've made a note of that particular thing, and it is something which is in works, and we should be able to resolve it quickly. The idea was that we open up a dashboard for mentors to see his or her respective schools, the number of sessions which we have been done. But that is something which is in the process, and you will see it implemented down the line. So thanks for noting that out.
Yeah. And just on that, I saw one or three more questions from Paramveer sir as well. I think he was there last time. Also, he joined the call and asked a question. And I think sir is experienced in building tech solutions, so he may have a lot of interesting ideas. So this is what we discussed last time as well. Whatever, since we would want, the audience is the best, or the users are the best form of testing for any platform. So when you're raising tickets, we want tickets to be more of so you can obviously raise that as tickets also, but tickets are something which can be solved immediately within 2-3 days. So it's either a tech issue that is there's a glitch or something that's not working, or it's a program related issue that we can help with connecting or something. But when you give a feedback, which is extremely important for us as well. Right now we don't have a feedback section on the portal, so one is that we can work on that. But again, development takes time. We are already doing server migration and everything. So for feedback, I would suggest that either you can send us, send it to me directly. I'm sure a lot of you have my email ID. Um, so you can compile, because I see 2-3 more suggestions that you're giving. It would be great if you can compile that in a simple document and either share it with the RMOC, they share it with me any which way, or you can send it to me directly, because that would streamline the process a lot, and then it would not seem like the tickets are not going not being answered, because for somebody to answer your ticket, requires a development to be done on the portal, it will take that much time. that okay, it takes 3 weeks to develop this thing on the portal, and then it will take that much time. If we deprioritize that development, then it takes longer because there are a lot of things which we are trying to develop, and we have to constantly prioritize and everything. So would really suggest submitting it in a feedback document form and sending it to me. My ID is himanshu.nethi@nic.in, and you can also send it there. I will share it with the team. But I generally don't share my ID because I don't want, you know, queries coming in the way of emails. Just wanted to put it out there that don't send ticket worthy. So whatever queries are there, but if you have any feedback and you put it in a nice document that I can share with the tech team or use it myself for the program, then most welcome to share it on the mail. Yeah, go ahead, Bhaira.
So the some of the other questions that we have, one, I don't think it's as much as a question as a statement. Our communication with students are disrupted due to COVID. We understand and recognize that.
It is very
The other
well.
is, yeah, the other is ATL told me that they haven't received second tranche, hence they are not much willing to support mentoring assistance. What shall we do?
Okay, so for anybody who has not received second tranche, there is something. So what the way it works is, we as a government organization, I want to tell this to mentors very, sincerely, because you can help the administration understand it better than we can. It's very difficult for us to reach out to that kind of one-on-one conversation, but you do have that. So explain to your administration that when they are applying for a second tranche, there are list of documents that you need to submit simply because government has to go through a certain compliance process. And then there are a lot of checks and balances to see how the first tranche has been utilized. And that is why there was a lot of back and forth. I personally evaluated a lot of documents regarding second tranche for compliance, and we do that we have to do that very sincerely because we can't misplace anything. So whoever has not received the second tranche or has not been cleared for the second tranche, we have sent feedback that this is what is missing from your documents. Maybe you have not updated your ATL dashboards every month. It's required to have ATL dashboards updated at all times. Maybe you have not participated in some of the activities, or you have not given your financial statements and everything. So just make sure, sit with your ATL in charge or get credentials to their tranche portal and help them understand what is the feedback that they've gotten from us and how they can work on it to get the tranche. That is really the only way to do it. I can't help until I have all the documents, or my team has all the documents. So yeah, that's that. Then the next question: can we create? Okay. The data in the mentor in the portal is still not talking to each other. Mentor details should reflect automatically into ATL login. Similarly, kindly provide with a hyperlink. So noted. Would again request if you send it in a feedback form, it will help us not miss it at all. The data not talking to each other has been my biggest concern for the past, trust me, for the past 1 year. It is so the ATL ecosystem and the mentor ecosystem was not working in sync. Now it's way more in sync. We have RTOCs, we have RMOCs that are going to be working with each other. We will be announcing the RTOC soon. So there is a plan to match that data. Again, we are developing it. It's just that because of a lot of things that are going on right now, we are prioritizing working from tinkering from home, that currently it is not being done that efficiently, but we do share that data between the platforms and try to update it as much as possible. So I share the data of mentors in the schools assigned with my ATL team periodically, and they update it on their ATL dashboards. It's just not automated yet, but we will do that. It's important.
The next question is, can we do online sessions through ATL portal to our school, as directly school is not having facilities?
Um, so you want to do a session, online session through ATL portal because the school does not have what facilities? I'm confused.
That is
Uh,
pretty much all of the question. Maybe it's Dr. Parekh. Maybe he can resend the question with a little more context. That would
yeah,
make it
because
easier for us to
again, uh, so there are a couple of books that I used to read on, and I think Weber would be able to, shed more light on that. But when you're working on a tech platform, or you're working on a solution to, capture a lot of things that are going on, of course, there are, beautiful platforms existing that address a lot of those issues at the same time. But for something that is so novel and dynamic as mentoring, because things change every day, mentors change, schools, and a lot of these things change every day, that we still want that one purpose that we're trying to solve, which is that mentors come and report their sessions and maintain that engagement within the community and solve for things. That is the main purpose of internet right now. If we bring in students and teachers, so that if I must tell you, we already have everything ready for students and schools and teachers and everybody. It has been created. The only problem is rolling out, because we don't want too many platforms for schools or teachers to get overwhelmed and then not do anything. So we have to understand that right now the goal is to make the mentoring more streamlined, and we are working on that. There are a lot of online platforms, if you're asking, that to do calls with students, and it would work similarly. If somebody can access a Zoom call, um, if somebody can access a online ATL portal, then they can access the Zoom call as well, which is why something like this we would not be able to prioritize right now. It, to be very, I'm being very honest with you, it can be in a very long term vision, to make the product perfect, but it doesn't fall into the objective right now, uh, because this is the need for an online mentoring is there, and we do want to do those sessions through the portal so that it gets captured and everything. But that would be the next step. Like, once we have sorted all the other different aspects of mentor management and engagement, then we would like to move on to that. Until then, I would suggest that you use these other online platforms that exist.
I'm having some internet issues, so I've switched
That's
off my video. The next question we have is, can we have video links of different MOC mentoring sessions so we can share to our schools? Maybe we can get some of our in our knowledge hub sessions, a few of our mentors to walk mentors through their mentoring processes. But I'm sharing links. I'm not quite sure how feasible that would be. What do you think, Himanshu?
feasible. Yeah, I think feasibility se zyada, I have an issue with the privacy aspect of it. I'm not sure. I don't know. So if it's an online session, sure. If mentors are recording an online session and they make it clear that they want to share it with their mentoring community, then they can put it up. We can have a section in Knowledge Hub, which is just this, that these are the different videos that the mentors wanted to voluntarily submit on different topics. And that can be done. Since we are developing Knowledge Hub right now, Vaibhav and Varya, we can make sure that this is something that we incorporate. And we are trying to do that. If somebody
Yeah.
session on a very specific thing. But physical sessions, recording them and sending them, I don't know, again, if I would be okay with that. Like, I would have to ponder over it, because children are involved. They are also a part of the session. Um, I really don't know that. I know for a fact that when you are recording something that is done offline, there are certain rules and something that you have to follow, especially when it's in a class, and when I am supposed to share it with 5,000 other people. But yeah, I think we should try to keep it voluntary. And if somebody does online any session that they find it interesting and they can record it, then they can send it to us. We can put a small section of collecting such video links in the Knowledge Hub, and then we will just post it there with a small write-up. That is what I would say. Any of you, if you want to add something?
I think so. We can definitely do that. Makes sense in case mentors would want to share that across, especially when right now most of it things are happening online.
Hmm.
We'll include that in our knowledge hub.
Yeah, that is there. So yeah, if there are any voluntary entries, Abhi, you can send it to your RMOCs or again me or Varya, but and we will make that. But we will soon be done with the entire auditing process, and then we can actively work on these requirements. Um, the team has been really occupied with the audit for the past 2 months. So yeah, next question.
Next question. I think this is not as much as a question, but a comment. I would like to add my views on practicing practices we do that in the ATL. It should be in terms to develop available foreign product prototypes so that Make in India program can also be boosted through the root level. So I think that's interesting
Definitely,
insight.
yeah.
Interesting.
Here, I think Miss Dr. Parekh, who was talking about, I think, in getting in touch with the schools, he's basically saying without the involvement of ATL school, it is not Zoom or WebEx.
Yeah, so I could see that the school is not allowing you to Zoom or WebEx. That's true. So again, what we have to understand is you guys are doing amazing, work, and it's just that I also keep writing about it, and AIM. I just want to emphasize the how much AIM. So because of this ATL mentoring program, we have got launched mentoring programs for all our programs. There is a mentoring program for AKIK that is going on right now, Community Incubation Centers. There is one for AIC, which we solicited applications with the ATL ones. It's because this has been so successful, and we have seen such motivated people working towards, and we really believe that mentoring is the best way of giving back to the society, because all of you are expert professionals, and now you are teaching that to the children. So while we really recognize and appreciate the efforts that you're putting in, what happens, the way schools work is going to be a little different, because there we are dealing with children who fall under the it is sort of the school's responsibility to take care of the children, and whom they speak with or how they communicate to anybody other than the school administration, because that's how responsibilities are divided. So in the ATL mandate and the Mentor India mandate, it is important that you work with the ATL in charge to organize such sessions. We also would not encourage direct communication or direct organizing any session directly. It is always good to keep the school in the loop, and you can tell them that I am organizing this Zoom call, you join it, and then ask your students to also join it, and you be on the call. It's important that the ATL in charge is on the call. They are also supposed to learn from you. You are not just a mentor for the students, you are a mentor for the administration as well. They can benefit from you guys are supposed to work together. So just tell them, request them very nicely that I would really appreciate if you also join the call, and get your students on boarded as well. And I think that should solve it. If it doesn't, then again, the general path: raise a query, mention the ATL in charge's name so that I can get it correct in my database, because these keep on changing, and then we will communicate with them, because then it's a different issue. So yeah.
Yeah. The next question we have is schools are having trouble regarding ATL dashboards. They used to participate actively, but while filling the dashboard, the comes poor. Schools regularly ask for what are required conditions to get good report.
Okay. So I am not an expert. I think if we can maybe do an ask me anything for ATL related questions, or whatever problems ATLs are facing, and you can invite ATL in charges as well. And I would get the ATL technical team and the management team on board. I don't want to give an answer that I'm not sure of, because I don't really manage the ATL dashboard. Uh, Although I do know that there are ranking systems in place, but how they're working and how they can be improved, I think Ronak Naba would be in a better position to answer. So, Varya, maybe let's schedule another
Yes.
Ask Me Anything just for the ATL team, and mentors as well as ATL in charges can join that.
Yeah, I think that would be a very good idea. We can schedule that next. So the
Yeah.
next question is there any way we can send invitation to outside experts for interaction with students? I think some mentors are already doing that,
Yeah.
but
So on a personal level, again, as long as your school is involved and you are there, I just need somebody from the school administration to be there if any outside speaker is coming for one session. Otherwise, it is a part of. It was supposed to be a part of the conversation today, and I can say that right now our applications to become a mentor are open round the year. They're open right now as well. You can go to the AIM website under Mentor of Change. You can see the application link. And if you choose that, it's a fairly easy application to fill. Would recommend that if you have anybody in your network who might be interested in becoming, a lot of the issues we are facing would also go away with increase in the number of mentors, because right now I think according to the last data that I saw, only amongst the 5,000 mentors that we have, only 2,000 schools are assigned, and we have like 5,000 ATL schools. So while we see one side of the coin, and I interact with you and we see that okay, schools are not responding, but on the other side of the coin, when ATL team comes and talks to you, they will tell you how a lot of schools tell them that we don't have a mentor and they are not responding. How do we get in touch with them? So we are trying to also bridge that gap and sort of connect that need with the supply. But another good way of doing that is we get more mentors on board from all parts of India, because a lot of these schools are in remote parts or smaller towns and there are no mentors there. So would really request you to share this opportunity with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family, and whoever you think has a passion for working with children, for innovation, tech design, anything really, is welcome to apply. The application is open round the year, but we will announce the results in every 3 months. So the next result I'm going to announce around June end, the next batch of mentors. So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, even in the referral section, they can mention you as a referral, so that
yeah,
increases their application's merit as well.
yeah.
But yeah, the next is not a question, but basically a mentor sharing that how he's recorded video lectures and shared and has started creating online educational resources titled Atal Mentoring Sessions. On you share the website link, and then he's written how I enrolled school email ID to it. I send this info to schools so that they can send it to students. I think that's a very great practice that mentors can adopt for
Yeah.
remote mentoring.
Yeah. And also, I have spoken to a few students because I'm doing this research recently, and it requires me to interview and talk to some of the students. And these students who are extremely excited about innovation, they are constantly Googling resources on, related to, they will type these keywords, the Atal Innovation Mission videos or innovation videos or research. So a good way would also be, and they're always on YouTube, trying to find different things that are done. So you can also create a small channel if you want, and not only your school's children will find you if they know you by name or something, and if the school administration connects you with them, a lot of other school students would also benefit from that, because all the students have told me invariably that during the lockdown they do is work on the internet, or whoever has access to it is constantly on the internet trying to find these interesting things.
Yeah. So just shifting to some of the live chat questions, because I was just taking from the question section. One is we have to necessarily upload pictures or sessions. It is sometimes difficult. Can you not make it optional and just tell us it is pending instead of canceling the entire update done till then?
Is it something for the report your session?
Yeah, I think it's for the report your mentoring sessions that can the images be made
We
optional.
can look into that. I'll just make a note of it.
Yeah. There's another, if school is not responding, then how to start. I think this is something we discussed previously. Also, in case you're having trouble reaching to a school, try assigning more than one school and reach out to them right now, just because of the current context, reaching schools is a little difficult. And the other
Yeah.
thing would be instead of just trying to reach them over mail, try also to reach ADL in charges specifically over phone call, because at times the email checking process might not be as quick.
And even if so, some of the requests that I got from there was, I think, a mentor who was allotted Kulaba, and I just happened to go through that ticket, and I just called the ATL in charge, looking at my database,
Hmm.
and the ATL in charge had changed the school. Then I called the principal, and they had also changed the school. So I just requested those people, the principal and the ATL in charge, I requested them to give me any contact for the current administration. You can give me the, I asked them that you can share the principal's number or the ATL in charge's number, and they very nicely gave it to me. And after that, I called the new ATL in charge up, shared that contact with the mentor, and it was set up. Like, I told them that they're trying to reach you, and please make sure that you also open the mails. And they were like, yeah, maybe we have missed that, but if your contact numbers are not working, then they are, so those contact numbers were taken some time back when the ATL were established. So they are contact numbers for people who are working there for sure. Most of them, it's very in maybe a few cases, there are numbers which nobody has or were flukes or something. But most of the time, they are people who were working in the school. Maybe they are not working right now, but if you call them 2 3 times, and when they pick up, if you ask them, they will tell you the new just ask them for the new ATL in charge or principal contact.
Yeah, otherwise, like some an advice that really worked well for mentors before the lockdown was just calling the school reception,
Yeah.
because that is someone would pretty much more or less always be there. So just like a point of reference which mentors can look once schools reopen. Another question is, when we register with the schools, want to know if system is sending message to mentor on the school names along with school address and telephone numbers. Yes, a mail goes to both the school and the mentor with sharing details of both the individuals involved. So from our end, the mail goes immediately.
And now, we will also, so we wanted to make it as uh, choice based for mentors as possible, which is why we have that select school feature. But we have also figured that to start this, we would probably be sending the mail that we send to ATLs for their selection, that, oh, you are selected and you will be getting fund, and these are the steps that you need to follow. We will also put the mentor's name there. We will do the assignment based on our experience and just geographical proximity, so that it's easier for the mentors to connect. But for that, again, if you update your profile, we would at all times know where you are, and we can then assign you to a school before anything starts. So then when you help them set up the ATL lab and everything, then that bond is created, and then you can work very easily with the school administration. So that's what we are planning to do.
Yeah.
One thing to
Hmm.
add on the school reassignment, because I see quite a few mentors raising the queries around the same. So school reassignment essentially, the feature works in a sense that uh, uh, if you have done a reassignment today, while a mentor could be, can assign himself a maximum of 3 schools, but let's say if you have assigned only one school today, it essentially locks that particular feature for 2 months from now, from your last assignment. And the idea was just to ensure that the schools have a clarity in terms of which mentor is assigned, and not enable that's why this restrictions was brought in. But I can understand a lot of times the queries coming in the form of that I have reassigned one school and I still have two schools open and I want to now assign more, right? However, the feature doesn't work. It's not that the feature doesn't work. There's a restriction in place, right, for the same. And now we are trying to relax that restriction in form of keeping the restriction on that particular school rather than using the feature itself. So you can still go ahead, add another school, but not change the school which you have reassigned, let's say today, until next 60 days. So that also is something which I thought everyone should be aware of, because I could see a few queries coming from mentors around the same, saying that the function is not working. So it's working, but it's under some restriction. But we'll try to relax that so that you can still use it to your maximum benefit.
Yeah, thank you, Weber. So the next question is on InnoNet portal. One section must be there where we can chat with other mentors so that we can share our knowledge with each other. By clicking on mentor pick, we can directly link to their Facebook profile. So, I mean, there's a two-part answer to this. One is that the forum exists. You can chat, although it has some limitations, but we see a lot of mentors engaging there, and I think Webhub can tell more about how it's been, how whatever additions it's going to have. In terms of Facebook, there exists a Facebook group for mentors which they can join. It's an informal, completely voluntary joining of the group. You're not really required to, but you can choose to join. And in case you have already sent a request to join and it might not have been accepted, that the only case for that is you haven't given the details of your school. You haven't given the details of your school and your joining date, because we need something to verify your profile and account, and we don't want anyone to join the group who's not supposed to be there. So we just, to err on the side of caution, don't add mentors until and unless they mention their details while sending the request to join the group. So we can do that. On linking the profile image to Facebook, I think that might not be completely feasible just because of privacy concerns, that a mentor might not be comfortable with linking their details, but maybe we can add an option where mentor can share the link to their Facebook profile if they want to add it. I mean, that is something maybe we can look into. What do you think?
Yes, I think so. Varya, thanks for answering that. That does make sense, right? One is they can either join the group, which might be easier for people to communicate. Coming back to the chat part of it, interacting with the other mentors. Like Varya pointed out, the forum does exist, and that was the whole idea of having it there. In addition to that as well, we are triggering that RMOC dashboard, which I spoke earlier in the call, and that will essentially enable chat with the RMOCs so that it can be even triggered at a one-on-one basis. But that is the chat as of now. We will try to bring in more features as we go along. But until then, we would really encourage to use a forum for interacting with the other mentors, because that's place which gets visible to everyone.
Yeah.
The next is, in my school also, ATL in charge email ID is wrong in your data. The in charge was asking how to report this thing to Atal Innovation Mission, because all the emails from your side is not being received by the ATL in charge. I think that's a very, very important question about updating.
Whoever your ATL in charge is right now would have gotten the access to the ATL dashboard, because any mail that is sent is not just sent to the ATL in charge, it is also sent to the school, it is also sent to the principal. There are 3 email IDs and 3 contact numbers we collect. So your ATL in charge would have access to the dashboard. If they don't even have that, then they have to go to AIM website. I can, just a second, I will share my screen and show that to you so that you are also able to advise. Yeah. Okay. So this is the website. Yeah. Here, by the way, this is the application form. Just wanted to show that as well. And in the Atal Tinkering Labs, right? This is ATL helpline query resolution. It is a very exhaustive query resolution system. You can type your school name here. These are the categories: dashboard queries, general queries, and event queries. And then suppose I pick general queries, then you have your subcategories as well: PFMS, mentor, application related, tranche 2, email. I feel like this is this platform, we track the number of queries that are answered here on a weekly basis, right? Within the ATL team. And I think it is still underutilized, because while we get a lot of queries, a lot of ATL in charges just don't reach out through these platforms. And if you tell them under the general queries, that okay, this is, or under the dashboard, that um, we are facing issues because my email ID is not updated. You can update it on the dashboard. The dashboard has a edit profile section wherein you can change your a lot of ATL and charges already do it. Whenever there's a change, they update it on the dashboard, and that way we get the updated list every 2-3 months, and we update that list on our backend. That's how the system is supposed to work. But even if you're not on the dashboard, then first step is to raise a query there. Or if there are any issues that your ATL in charges are facing, please educate them that they have this portal where everything is answered within a week. So yeah, that's my answer.
The next question is there a possibility to know the status of ATL labs, since some of the labs are in process of being set up?
It's really difficult to track that. Once we send out the money, um, we sort of assume that we have a timeline that okay, it will take these many months to set it up, but you can't really know that for sure from all the schools until they report it, right? Then we will have to complicate the structure of the dashboard and ask them to report that also. It's already being reported, but then we need to ask them in a way that, okay, tell us when your lab is set up, and then we can create that milestone. And again, I would suggest that, um, reach out to the schools. Maybe a lot of mentors also reach out to the schools before choosing them on the portal, because their numbers, at least pre-COVID, the reception numbers of any school is on the internet. You can call them up, you can introduce yourself, and tell them that this is something, you are trying to find a school and you might want to work with them. There are a lot of different ways in which you can try setting up a rapport with the school and then understand. But I don't want to also encourage mentors to just go for schools in which ATL labs are already set up, because the real help that the school administration needs after the school is set up, you will help the students. But the real help that the school administration needs is when they are setting up the lab. They're really lost at that time. And as much as we try to help them, it's still they could still use somebody like our mentors in getting all the equipments, understanding the guidelines. I think that would also be something that mentors should be open to helping with. And I don't see a way to inform them, to be very honest, what is the status of the lab, except for active inactive. That's the most we are looking into. There are bands performing good, not good, or poor. That is something we are doing, but apart from that, I don't think we can.
Also, I think based on the geography and the location of any ATL, their process of establishing the lab also varies.
Yeah.
Some might just start, but equipment comes in phases. And also, I think we would not be able to ever standardize the process of identifying what state a lab is in.
Yeah,
and
but we can definitely rate the performance. That's something we can look into. But
yeah. The next is I'm unable to trace the mail intimating me about my 2 schools. Can that email be resent to me?
This is something that I've heard from a couple of mentors actually, that they can't find the mail. First thing is, just check all the folders, maybe check your spam and everything. Just make sure that you check your entire search the keywords internet. Maybe Webhub can tell you more on what keywords to look into, but search internet ATL these words and see if you have AIM, if you have any such mail in any of your folders. If you don't, I don't know why that would happen. That means that maybe the email address is not correct or something. Then please raise a query. Tell them that this is your email ID and you have not received a mail on that, so that we can either change your email ID so that you get communications going forward, or we can, make sure that it is not because of the ID. And once we know that it is not because of the ID, we can send you the mail in the query section with the details in the query section. I've seen Prithvi doing that quite often.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Raising the query is the, I think so, the way to go in case they
Yeah,
haven't received or can't track the mail.
Yeah, and
yeah,
just like since we're discussing the query system is in two parts. It has technical queries and program-related queries. So it just for on the team end, it makes our lives a lot more easier if you use the division a little more carefully. Technical is anything to do with the functioning of the portal, like if you're say not able to reassign a school, or if you're having any issues on the technical part, anything, that's where your technical queries would go. Program is say if you're uncertain about how to reach a school, if you want to connect with someone, all of that you can send to the program.
yeah.
And
Yeah, so
queries,
not
it just
receiving.
makes
I think Varya,
answering
your
them
voice
quicker
is
and
breaking.
easier for us. Um, Yeah. So the next question is, do we have sample lesson plans of ATLs, and how do we make session plans? How do we decide what exactly to be mentored? I'm unclear on this.
Okay. So I don't know how many. I think we should also put it on the internet portal as well. Go through the entire ATL section on the website. It mentions ATL curriculum. We are constantly changing the curriculum. It mentions the areas in which we are supposed to mentor. It mentions, you know, the calendar, ATL calendar of activities. It has so many resources to plan your sessions. So one help is obviously you can reach out to your RMOC. They can help you with the structure or anything. But I suggest that all the mentors are quite unique in their expertise and their experiences, right? So to make something your own, there is no set way in which you can make a session plan. Innovation or anything related to innovation, we don't want to put it into a very strict bucket, but we still have a guiding document on everything that you have to do in the ATL, and all that information is present on the AIM website. Again, like I showed you, under the ATL Adult Tinkering Lab section, there are drop downs, and there we have everything. We are, Weber, correct me if I'm wrong, we were supposed to integrate that on the internet portal as
We
well.
so I think so. Varya had shared, and it's already there in form of a blog on Internet portal.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just saw that. I've just shared the link.
yes, I just
Oh, okay.
checked it out. So yeah, all the suggested curriculums, different areas, the handbooks around it, they're there as
That's
part
like
of it.
a exhaustive directory of all ATL related resources.
Exactly.
And maybe one of the knowledge hub sessions in the future can simply be on designing a mentoring session, because I think like scheduling would be a little would be interesting to see how different mentors are doing that, and also in
Yeah.
terms of how they match it with the school calendar, because I think one part is just figuring out what you're going to mentor and the other part is matching that with the school and their calendar. So I think I have
Yeah.
made a note of that. I will have a session on that soon, so that mentors have some point of reference.
Yeah, but
Um,
this is wonderful. This blog is so exhaustive. It contains everything that you would ever want to know about this
yeah,
at one page, in just one page. So, yeah.
yeah. This I think we have 4 minutes left, so let's just I will ask two
We'll wrap
things.
it up here. Yeah.
together. Let's see, can we make group of mentors of whole India on the basis of their expertise, as we already have state-wise data similar, like for example, 3D printer experts, software experts, environment expert, motivational speaker, and combination of all of this.
So
And
we have put it as a topic in the forum. If you we can add more broad topics, more specific topics in the forum, that okay, 3D printer related stuff, IoT related things, AI related things, and you can choose those categories and discuss there. I think that would be a good solution. Instead of, I don't know what platform you're talking about, but we don't want more groups on Facebook. We just makes it after a point makes it obsolete. People get confused. WhatsApp groups. There are so many mentors. It is not possible. There are like 200 ka limit on adding members to one group. There would be so many groups, and after a point, WhatsApp groups do become a little just informing, and all of that happens. So I think forum is the best way to discuss these things and create a community. And Webhub, we already have those categories, right? So they
Yes,
can use them.
exactly.
Um,
So,
and yeah,
um,
and I mean another just like a general rule of thumb is that if you need help, if you want someone from a particular expertise, just post it on the forum or the Facebook group. I think mentors who have the relevant expertise will directly comment and reach out to you.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
yes, and one more suggestion,
Hmm.
and more of a request. I can see a lot of mentors writing out the queries also, which are either program or a tech related on the forum. And
Hmm.
just a suggestion there and a request more in terms of if the queries could be coming across only on the query for the ticketing system, then it just helps. Us to act on is faster. And I can understand there have been a couple of instances where there has been a delay, but the whole idea is just to ensure that there's a single place to address all the queries and use forum for essentially the new ideas and what we spoke of right now. So a request
Yeah.
to everyone
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah,
That's a
I think.
very good point here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we can wrap up. Oh, one last question that we wanted to discuss, which I have received very frequently in the queries, is how do mentors become top mentors? Like, how do we identify our top mentors and what the basis for that is? So, I mean, very broadly, the basis for that is your engagement with the program. We look at the sessions you have reported, therefore reporting sessions is extremely critical. I remember that because there was a question on sessions reported of mentors saying that a recording work of two schools done at the same time in Jan to March is not able to do, so I stopped recording my work. I think it is about different schools and recording, but I think if I'm not mistaken, you can report for different schools or sessions, so I'm not sure why you weren't able to. If
Yeah,
you
maybe we
have,
were not able to back then, but I think we can do it now. Right, Webhub?
Yes, we can.
yeah,
Yeah.
in case you have any issue, again, just raise a query. We will look into it, but you should be able to record sessions. And also your engagement on events which we host or the RMOCs host. So I think these are the broad basis on which these mentor of the month and even like eventually RMOCs and exemplary MOCs are selected. So yeah, I think with that we can wrap up. If you have anything else to add, I think then otherwise we're done.
No, I think this is good. Just that just reach out to more mentors on the community. Be vigilant with what the purpose of any tool on the portal is. Makes all of our lives easier. We are here to help you unconditionally, but would also request sort of responsible reporting, responsible raising the queries or addressing any issue. All of us need to structure this more. That is very clear from all our discussions and everything that you are seeing. And we are trying to do our best and we are open to feedback. But we also need more structured inputs from the mentor, because otherwise a lot of time goes in, sort of trying to clean the data and understanding with what goes where. So that would be really important. Please, reach out to your RMOCs are trying to call you, mail you. Now they will also try to reach out through you to you through contact numbers. Just be responsive towards them. It is a voluntary program, so if at any point you feel like you have other commitments, you know definitely allowed, open, have the liberty to not work. But then maybe we can find a way in which you can hit a pause on your mentoring movement if you're not, so that the schools or the mentor community doesn't stay in the dark, and then you can rejoin, because there is no system of, it is a voluntary program and we don't remove mentors. Because I just want to clarify that, because I've been getting a lot of mails and queries about something, that was a technical glitch that happened and some people were added on the portal who were not selected. So if you also get that information, or if you were one of those, any of you here are one of those people, so who were accidentally added to the portal, and now we had to remove those IDs which were accidentally added, then you can always, we have tried calling you, we will send you a mail as well. Please apply again. We know who all were added accidentally, and we know that who all started working, have done some work, and we will take that into consideration. Just that, be more active with the community around you. And if you ever want to hit a pause, we don't remove anybody from mentoring. It is an honor that all of you are working with us. It's just such a huge contribution that you're trying to make. So, and we understand you all have a professional, hectic lifestyle. If at any point you feel like this is not working with your schedule, you can inform us, leave your school, deassign yourself from the school and move on. And then you will always have your ID. You can always come back and assign a new school and start mentoring. That's what we see this platform as. Reach out to more people in your network and ask them to become a mentor of change. That way, the more known people you have in the community, the more localized group also can be formed within yourself. That really helps, having mentors that you know and you can work together to change a couple of schools. So yeah, that's all from my side. Anything that Weber you want to add?
No, yeah. So again, like I said at the start of the session, it was great to hear that feedback in the last one, and we know that we have taken steps to ensure that the mentoring experience, especially for the mentors, improve. And we would be very open to receiving any feedback which comes on the way. And I can understand if there are challenges on the portal, please feel free to report, and we'll try to ensure that we reach out to you at the earliest. So yes, thanks for all the feedback and driving the whole ATL ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Great. I think Varya, we can
Yeah.
stop now.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.